This is the Federal Republic of Germany. It is located at the center of the European Union. It is the most populous country in the European Union. By the export of goods and services, it is the third country in the world, after the United States and China. It has the largest economy in Europe and the fourth largest in the world by nominal GDP. Being home to the modern car, its automotive industry is one of the most competitive and innovative in the world. Moreover, 29 companies of Fortune Global 500 are headquartered in Germany. Germany is among the most visited and beloved countries among tourists, with over 37 million visitors per year. Although we can mention a very long time about German success stories, a couple of decades ago things were completely different. Germany was known as the sick man of Europe, averaging GDP growth per year just 1.2% between 1998 and 2005. So, how did Germany turn everything around and became the benchmark of the developed economy? To answer this, we must go 70 years back to the 20th century. To describe and understand modern Germany and its economy, we should start from post-war West Germany, because after the end of the Second World War, the country was divided into two zones of political government. West Germany was ruled by the coalition headed by the USA, and East Germany was headed by the Soviet Union. As a consequence, both parts of Germany have established two different economic systems, the capitalist West and the communist East. Many argue that West Germany mainly benefited from the US reconstruction plan, or the so-called Marshall Plan, which is true, but doesn't reflect the whole picture of Germany's economic success. For example, England has received 30% more financial support than West Germany. So financial support doesn't truly explain the economic miracle, but this person does. Ludwig Erhard, also known as the father of the German economy, or as Germans call him Mr. Wirtschaftswunder. He has established the so-called social market economy, combining free market attitudes with social security protections. After a decade, his decisions paid off, with 4 times higher industrial output in 1958, slowly turning Germany into an economic superstar. Although West Germany was doing well, the situation in East Germany in the 70s was dramatic. As a consequence, Germany's reunification had economic impacts. The first major problem after reunification was the difference in currency. The whole monetary system in the East should have been exchanged into institutionally stable Deutsche Mark. It posed threats for businesses because East German businesses had to compete with Western businesses, which, well, wasn't easy for them. As a solution, fiscal money transfers were made. It is estimated that the government transferred over $2 trillion over the years. But at the end of the 1990s and the beginning of 2000s, Germany was mostly known as Europe's sick man. Reunification brought a huge impact on the economy, because the government was trying to combine two different market systems into one. To understand Germany's economic miracle, we should pay closer attention to the so-called Mittelstand. These are mainly family-owned businesses, spread out mostly in rural and out of urban areas. And these companies generate over 70% of Germany's GDP. Also known as hidden champions, these companies are exporting all around the world, generating enormous income into country's budget. Although these companies are quite successful and prosperous, the educational system in Germany has contributed to their success tremendously. In comparison to numerous countries in the world, Germany is not obsessed with sending their children into the higher education system. Instead, they pay more value and attention to practical qualifications, where students become highly skilled, dependable employees from a very young age. This system is known as a dual system, and many countries have started to follow this German practice, aiming to achieve higher results on the labor market. Regardless of the professionalism of economists and the number of hidden champions in the economy, nothing could be achieved without proper foreign policy. After the end of World War II, Germany has paved its way back to international relations, and on the mission, the United States has the biggest impulse. If we compare West and East Germanies, we will see that country's success depends on your foreign affairs strategic partner. It was more than obvious how developed East Germany, which was cooperating with the United States, and how poor and devastated was Eastern Germany, facing difficulties even until nowadays. Last but not least, the Eurozone and currency had an impact on Germany's economy. As a growing export industrial country, currency difference in exporting countries raised some unequal competition inside the economy. For different companies, export rates might differ depending on the currency exchange rate. After joining the Eurozone, together with other members of the European Union, exporting became more predictable and competitive. Although the Eurozone had a major impact on Germany's economy, being an export industry imposed dependence on the purchasing power of the neighboring countries, meaning that the domestic success is more dependent on the importing countries' market stability and growth. Being economically successful, Germany faces nowadays a more severe and complicated problems, the demographics. According to scientists, until 2030, the number of people over 16 years old will be more than those below 20 years old. Having one of the oldest demographics in Europe, where average age is 43 years old, Germany's economy might face severe challenges. Whether the migration policy could solve this problem or not is yet to be answered. Write in the comments what do you think about Germany's economic success and whether migrants can help to solve the demographic problem in Germany.